Continuing in Revelation chapter 12 and verse 13, we'll see that the details written in chapter 12 verse 13 through chapter 13 verse 18 pertain to effects or events taking place on earth as a result of and corresponding to previous events that we have read about taking place in heaven. In verse 13 we read that when the dragon saw, or when he knew that he was cast into the earth, he was expelled from heaven, he persecuted the woman. He pursued her as an enemy with hostility. Emphatically and specifically, the woman who gave birth to the male. Of course, in this context, it is referring only to the members of God's people who are descendants of Israel, Jacob. The Judeans are Israelites. So when the dragon saw that he was cast to the earth, he pursued or persecuted the woman, that woman that gave birth to the male child. And there was given to the woman 2 wings of an eagle, specifically a great eagle, a large bird of prey, such as an eagle or a vulture. So 2 wings of an eagle were given to the woman. Why? For the purpose and result that she would use these 2 wings by flying into a desolate place or a wilderness, a desert. Specifically into her place, the location that God prepared or made ready for her, which we read about previously, where she is nourished, sustained there for a time and times and half of time. And that again refers to the time or that specific period, that is 3.5 years, which we read about in verse 6. So she would use these 2 wings of an eagle to fly into her place where she is nourished for a time and times and half of time, away from the face or the presence of the snake. And the snake threw out from his mouth, behind or after the woman, water as a river, for the purpose and result that he would cause her to be carried away by the river, flooding the area to flush her out and drown her in the water. However, what happened? And the earth came to help the woman. The land or the ground ran to help her, to give her aid. And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed or drank the river which the dragon threw or cast out from his mouth. And the dragon was caused wrath on the woman. He was made to have that angry or lasting vengeance against the woman. And so he went away to make war. He came to cause war or a battle, focusing his attention against who? The remaining people of her seed. That would be the rest of the seed of the woman. Of course, the woman represents all of God's people who are part of fallen mankind, as verse 1 above. So the remaining people refers to those who are not descendants of Israel or Jacob, but who are of the Gentile background, other nations, other ethnic groups, emphatically and specifically the remaining people. Not everybody, but only those people on earth at that future time belonging to other nations who are keeping the commandments of God, as keeping an eye on them, having them in safe keeping, not neglecting or violating the commandments of God, but being observant of the things that God commands, and having the witness of or from Jesus, So they have the attestation pertaining to and proceeding from Jesus. They also bear witness to Jesus. And so the dragon was caused to stand on the sand of the sea, or the seashore. Now, the continuation of the actions which the dragon carries out because of what happened with the woman and with the remaining people who keep the commandments of God and have the witness of or from Jesus. His actions are going to be detailed in Revelation chapter 13, which we'll read about in our next session. It will show us in detail the final 3.5 years via his various methods